In a season of hardship, I found one of the most unconventional ways to make money as a music producer. This is my testimony, and though it's not the route that I think every producer should take all the time, it's what worked for me in one of the toughest times of my life. So if you're a music producer facing a similar situation, stick around, watch this video, because you just might find what you need to give you that extra little bit of inspiration to do something different to change your situation. All right, so here's my testimony. It was January 2023 and the rent was due. I was short by $60 and I needed to find a way to get that money, because who knows if I didn't pay the exact amount for the rent, if I would still have a roof over my head. I got 2 kids, a wife, and now currently 1 on the way. So it was a very stressful experience for me to not be able to pay the rent. So as I'm thinking, I come up with the idea to run a beat sale. And I said, okay, I have over 200 beats on my beat store right now, and the majority of them have been sitting there for over 5 years. These are beats that I made a long time ago. I thought a lot of them were just complete trash, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. So that definitely proved to be true. So I said, okay, let me run a beat sale. And I'm gonna sell the exclusives on my beat store, because keep in mind, nothing was selling at all. I wasn't like selling beats left and right, making a lot of money off beat sales. I was in a pocket in my career where nothing was selling. And I knew that these beats here, I wasn't holding on to them. Like, these are precious pieces of work that I must never sell for less than what I felt that they were valued. So I ran a massive sale, kind of like a clearance sale, where everything must go. Every single beat, $25 for the exclusive rights. Now, I get it. I know. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And at the end of the day, when it comes to feeding your family and ensuring that we have a roof over our head, you're going to do some drastic stuff if you're in that position. And that's what I did. And let me tell you something. 2 days later, I made over $2,500. So the way that I was looking at it was that I had a bunch of these beats that I didn't even like anymore. They were so old. They were just sitting on my beat store. Everything about them was like, I'm better now. Those are trash. Yet they were somebody else's treasure. And the sale obviously helped that. By the end of the week, I made over $3,000 from that beat sale alone. So now I'm starting to think with like, okay, how could I continue to make money like this, sell beats for this low cost? Exclusive rights seemed to be the thing that drew people in, because those beats, I had a leasing option for $19, which people would get the MP3 lease of the beat. I've always had that, but that didn't sell often. So it was the exclusive rights that were getting people to come in and buy. So I said, okay, how am I going to keep this thing going? And I think sometime after that, I came up with the idea of Instagram's broadcast channel, which was basically going to allow me to be a business to consumer style marketing, where I had direct access to present my product without the interfering algorithm. And I can talk directly to the customer and sell how I wanted, when I wanted, post 5 links a day. If you signed up to my broadcast channel, you signed up for that reason. You were going to get beats at a super low cost. So I called it early access, so that I can still retain my value as a producer and sell them for what I felt they were worth. If you join the club, then you were able to get early access pricing. So I was selling them for $35. I raised the price up a little bit to see if people would budge. And that was the price that I felt was very comfortable for me to sell them, and people would buy them still. I leveraged who I was as a producer and the label that I'm signed to, Menace Movement. So in my sphere of Christian hip hop, people might be aware of who I am and the work that I've done. So using that as leverage to help sell beats is a good thing. And I think that a lot of people were buying because, one, they maybe knew who I was, but also it's like, wow, he's this guy here. I can get a Produced by Dax Hammer, and for this low price, absolutely. So they signed up. I was selling all the beats that I made. Now, to make anything that was worthy of being able to say, like, I made a good amount of money this week, I had to make a lot of beats. That's very obvious. So at $35, I had to make, like, if I was looking to make $1,000 a week, I had to make over 20 beats a week just to get to that place of feeling like I received a decent wage, a decent paycheck for all the work that I put in. But I did it. You have to. If this is going to be the lane that you're going to operate in for a while, this is what you have to do. So then now I got to find a way to make 20 plus beats a week so that I could actually make this feel like it's worth something. But I changed my mindset during that time. Instead of looking at it like I made a beat and I only sold it for $35, it's the same mindset shift that needs to happen when you start to lease beats. I never wanted to lease beats earlier on, but when I started to, I realized if I sell this, $20 lease 1,000 times, that makes it worth it, right? So it's that thing. If I make $1,000 a week, doesn't matter how many beats I had to make to get there or what price I'm selling them at, I got $1,000 paycheck. I tried to ride the wave out as long as I could and burnt out. Obviously, I produced over close to 400 beats in like an 8-month time frame last year. Massive amount of beats, but my focus was try to maybe make a business out of this thing finally. Like finally I felt like I got a business. Like I was doing real business. I was making real money. I made over $20,000 just using the Instagram broadcast channel. And that is like 15 times more money I've ever made selling beats. I mean, I really felt like I was finally validating why I spent so much time doing this. I was able to buy things and provide for my family. I mean, $20,000, don't get me wrong, does not seem like a lot. It's not $100,000, but it was extra income. It was me providing for my family with money that I'm making doing what I love. And to me, that was everything. And I was, of course, trying to get from this $20,000 place to how do I make 6 figures out of this? So the point is desperate times call for desperate measures. It causes you to have ideas to do different things to be able to achieve a certain goal. And then you realize, wow, this works. How can I now expand on this and do this differently or shift? That is my testimony. So I got 5 points that I want you to leave from this video and take away and apply if you're going to try this. Number 1 is identify your need and set a goal. My need was I got to make money ASAP. I'm going to run a crazy sale. Maybe the broadcast channel thing is not for you. Maybe it's just running an insane clearance sale on your site. The fact is, whatever you need, whether it be $60 or $1,000, or you just want to try this to make some money, identify the need and then set the goal of how many beats you're going to make and what you're going to do. Number 2 is create an irresistible offer. So just like I said, I didn't just charge $25 for a beat lease. Like, oh, I'm going to give you, this is the premium lease cost where you would get the WAV file and the track outs. Like, nah. If people aren't really buying your leases like that, then make the $25 offer for exclusive rights. Not even unlimited. Trust me, when it comes to people, at least in my genre, for whatever reason, the exclusive rights move them to action, to buy. The leasing thing, no matter how I tried to sell it, just people didn't want to lease beats. I don't know how it is with your genre, but in Christian hip hop, it was like exclusive or not really buying. Number 3, leverage your network. So for me, I was a signed producer to Menace Movement. It's a known record label in Christian hip hop. So when people saw that I was selling beats for so low, they knew who I was as a producer for this label and the work that I've done. And they just said, oh my gosh, this is a steal. Imagine a producer that you know that has some skin in the game, that has some status selling beats for so low. You would jump on it simply because you cannot believe that this producer that you know or maybe even look up to is selling these beats for so low. You would jump on it. So if you have something like that, utilize that. If not, just try to network and build and just have a product ready to present to people. And then just try to reel them into if you're going to do a broadcast channel, try to reel them into the broadcast channel. I highly recommend a broadcast channel and use it while it's still available and active and it's a thing, because it is really an easy way to market to a direct amount of people that sign up specifically for whatever you're going to be marketing to them. So, it's not spammy, really. I mean, you could over spam the channel, don't get me wrong, but it really is what they're expecting when they sign up. And as long as you deliver on the value that you promised them, then they'll stick around and probably become a consistent customer. Number 4 is utilize direct communication channels. So again, we have Instagram, we have the broadcast channel. Choose one. Choose something that's out there where you know you can market directly to somebody easy. For some people, it's email marketing. That's another form where you don't have an algorithm interrupting your flow of trying to get to the customer. My recommendation, of course, right now would be broadcast channel. That has been the easiest way for me. And number 5 would be to maintain momentum and scale. If this is the route that you want to go as a producer, you got to figure out a way that you're going to show up every week, not burn out from the amount of work that you're going to do. Try to figure out a way to make it more automatic. How could you produce a certain amount of beats over the span of a week or a month or whatever, but not overcharge from what they expected for the reason they signed up? Maybe that's going from Instagram broadcast channel to something like a Patreon, where now you're getting money to produce a certain output for somebody. So I thought about that as well. I thought about maybe if I start a Patreon and people signed up and paid me a certain amount of money per tier, and each tier would be some kind of benefit in this same idea of very inexpensive beats from a kind of known producer in his own little subgenre of hip hop. And I just thought about all the different ways I could potentially make this grow. The idea is that this could be a very sustainable way to make a living, as long as you have processes set up in play. And I'm going to talk about those processes in the next video, where I'm going to go over how I was able to, in that time frame, make a lot of beats, sell them for so low, and continue to process again and again, week in and week out, making enough money to provide for my family. And it was a great time. And honestly, sometimes I feel like, Dag, I should do it again. But I got other goals set, and that's why I'm showing up here on YouTube. So if you guys like this video, then please press that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Before you leave that comment, though, remember one thing. This was what I did for me in a desperate time. And there's nothing more desperate than you trying to keep a roof over the head of the people in your family. So you got to do what you got to do. And if that's you, try it. If it's not you, don't try it. Just know that this is coming from a sincere place, a sincere experience, not rule or law of what you need to do. It's just try it if you feel desperate. But always remember one thing if you do try this: your value. Remember that somebody is going to hear your beat and think, I cannot believe that this person is charging me just this much. So just remember that your beat is worth more than $25. But just try this out to try to get the ball rolling in a direction that you can confidently say, okay, I tried that, great, made some money. Now I know my worth and value, and I'm never going to charge lower than this. And you're going to get a different type of customer, somebody that is just different. Like when somebody spends more money on something, usually it's just a different experience than the person that's only spending a very low amount of money on something. So, with all of that being said, I hope and pray that this video helped you, encouraged you, inspired you to take action and do something radical to ensure that you can continue doing what you love to do, making music that you're passionate about making, and making some money off it as well. So, until the next video, may God bless you. Peace.